go ahead and continue on here. We've colored the background and we've colored things so that we can overlay it. Now the reason we're overlaying here is I want to show you that you can quickly go through and using your eraser tool you can quickly go through and do some cool stuff. Let's make the eraser bigger. But suppose I want to go and I want to color the snow. Okay, suppose it's a different color. I want to color the snow a light blue. If I double click on it, let's go up here, go to my custom colors. I can turn it almost to a white, which makes it kind of a cool, kind of really cold ice of snow. And then I can click on that. Now, you notice that's my primary color. But it's also right here on my secondary color. So if I click on that, and then I want to click the primary color, which is the white, which is what we want to change. I've changed my white and it's going to change to blue. Now if I right click and drag it over the top of my snow, guess what? I've just painted everything quickly. I've used the one quick step and I've painted the whole thing. Now what I'd like to do is go back in here, because I don't want to do things too dramatically. I want to leave some of the stuff white and I'm trying to make a shadow effect. So what I can do now is I can go ahead and click on white, click my background white, and then I can go back in here, use my color painter here for my canvas, and I can go back in here and quickly color everything back to a white. Now I've got my nice pretty snow, and you notice that changed to a gray, which means there's a break in the line over here, which you want to color that in if you want to. If not, we're not going to worry about it here, because you have to go down and get down to the pixels and use your zoom tool to get this thing colored in. But irregardless, the objective here is we're going to go ahead and we're going to change the color of the actual dog. Now the reason I'm doing this is I want to show you a cool shading effect. Now suppose you get the dog here and you want something neat like hot letters. You want to go in here and change your hot letters to the proper color. Now that's kind of cool. But let's go ahead and click to a gray, and let's paint the other letters here a nice gray. Now you can use black or gray. I'm just doing this to show you the shading effect. I can click on my tool here and I can select the hot dogs, and then I can go down here. Now remember, we selected the background color here to transparent. If I'm a solid color, I'm going to cover it up. If I go to the transparency, I'm going to overlay it, which means I can come up with a real cool shadow effect without even trying. Okay, so this gives you some really neat effects. Now let's go back here. Now it's gray and we want to go back to the black letters, so let's go ahead and hit your eraser tool. Oh, right click and I quickly go back. Now if I right click on the mouse when I'm in my eraser tool, I go to the black. So let's go back here and select it, and let's darken my shadow up here so you get a real cool effect. Oh, now what happened? I didn't change my background color back to white, so when I selected and I dragged it off, everything turned black. Okay? Now, that's not really a critical thing, because if I go back here and I right click on that, now I've done something pretty amazing. Made a mistake. So I go back and I undo it. Now I've changed my background color, my primary color. Let's go back here to black. Let's select it again. Now I'm on my transparent color. I can drag it down over the dog, and now I have a cool shadow effect. Now there's different ways of doing this. You can actually create some really neat effects doing this, but I'm just trying to show you some really cool effects by going in and showing you how to do this. Now let's go to one more color palette here, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to use some of the freeform tools. The spray can I've already covered. Let's go ahead, and we've covered the text tool, but let's go into the line tools. Now again, lines can be changed by using your control and your plus and minus key. So if I click on the plus and minus key, I can make the line bigger, hit the Control plus, I can make it bigger, hit the Control plus, make it bigger, and so on. Same thing with this tool. Now if I do this, this is going to give me the option of want it in whatever shape or form I want. Now let's go back here to the little line here, and oh, what do we got here? Now you'll notice when I drag it the first time, it's going to move it once. If I click, I left clicked it. Now I'm going to left click it again, and it only allowed me to click once. But you notice there, I clicked on something, now I clicked on it once and let it go, and now it's moving still. This is where it gets confusing for you when you're using your line curve tool. If you're going to line curve, you need to practice very specifically, because it does make a difference. I can click here, and I can set it by going in, clicking another tool, then clicking back, clicking over the same line here, and let's go back here, click on the curve tool, click on the same line. Now I can click on the middle here like I did that one, and you'll notice we have an eye. We have a sneaky eye, we have a big round sad eye, we have an angry eye. Depends on how you want to do it. You can have all kinds of fun with this. It's just a matter of practice and getting used to it. Now let's go ahead and move to the shapes. You'll notice, as I explained in the earlier sessions, you've got your option for an outline with a background fill. So let's go ahead, use the background fill with an outline of black and a background of gray. Okay? Now, what happened there? I've got my primary color and my background color, but it's an outline. If I click on this one and I do the same thing, now I get the background with a background fill. Or I can go, and this is going to give me a black box. Okay, you need to distinguish the difference. If you're using an outline, you get just the outline for the primary color. If you're using the shader, it's going to shade and make the shape in the same primary color. If you click here, you can in fact go here, right click, turn your background color pink, make a box, and you get a box with a black outline of your primary color with a pink background. Need to know this. Polygon Tool is something similar, but it allows you to go through and connect the dots. Okay? Now, let's go ahead and let me set that. Now, check my polygon here. My polygon tool is set to an outline, and this is quite alright. And if I connect the dots, it's done. But watch this. If I use my background flood fill with the pink and I do something similar, it's going to connect the dots, but this time it's going to fill it. This is critical to know as well. Same thing with this one. If I make a background or a solid color, it's going to give me the black without the background. Now if I change that to a primary color and that is a background color, I'm going to do just the opposite. It's going to give me a primary color of pink with a background of black. If you get comfortable with these shape tools, you're going to come up with some pretty cool effects. Now you notice every one of these will start on your outline. Once you've selected them within a painting, it will go through and it will retain what your last selection was, so you do need to pay attention. Anyway, that covers all the basic tools. For layering and things like that, please look into my newer videos and some of my older videos, such as making gradients and things like that. Thanks again for tuning in.